Oh, hey, howdy, hi. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for stopping by to join me today. I really do appreciate it. My name is Ellie and I'm a witch, and this over here is my teaching assistant, Andy, and today is going to be episode 2 of my Fatal Alignment series where we're going to be talking about Frank Costello. In case you missed last month's video, I put that on January 19th, and that was about Dean Coral. This is the zodiac series that I'm doing on my channel for this year only. I am just taking some criminal who was born within the different zodiacs, and I'm just doing a new one every month. The end of January into February is Aquarius, so that is the zodiac sign that I'll be doing today. And then obviously we'll just continue on throughout the year, and then December we'll have Sagittarius, and then I'll also be doing the Zodiac Killer. So with all that being said, let's go ahead and jump into the video. Frank Costello, birth name Francesco Castilla, was born January 26, 1891, making him an Aquarius. Costello was born in Italy, but his family relocated to the United States in 1895. Now, his father did not come with the family when they moved initially, but rather a few years later, at which point they opened a small Italian grocery store. As a child, he was introduced to gang activity by his own brother, and at 13 he became a member of a local gang and started going by Frankie. He started out committing petty crimes and ended up going to jail for assault and robbery in 1908, 1912, and 1917. Then in 1918 he married Loretta Geigerman, but later that year he was arrested for carrying a concealed weapon and served 10 months in jail. It was while involved in the Morello gang that Costello met Charlie "Lucky" Luciano. The two immediately hit it off and became friends and partners. Now, members of Luciano's mob family did not approve of the partnership. They were old school and were against working with anyone non-Italian, and were even skeptical of anyone non-Sicilian. Luciano was told not to work with Costello, referring to him as the Dirty Calabrian. Regardless, the two remained partners. Some other members who worked closely with the pair were Vito Genovese, Tommy Three Finger Brown Lucchese, Meyer Lansky, and Benjamin Bugsy Siegel. The gang was involved in robbery, theft, extortion, gambling, and narcotics, but they were really prospering during the Prohibition as bootleggers. Thanks to their success, they were able to make business deals with the leading Jewish and Irish criminals. A lot of their early success came from their financial backer, Arnold the Brain Rothstein, who became a mentor to the group. In 1922, the group joined the Sicilian crime family run by Joe the Boss Mezzeria. By 1924, Costello had become close with associates of Hell's Kitchen Irish bosses, which is why he changed his name to the Irish Costello. Then in 1925, Costello became a U.S. citizen. Now, Costello was indicted on federal bootlegging charges on November 19th of 1926, accused of bribing two Coast Guardsmen, assumingly so that liquor could be unloaded from boats in the New York harbor. In January 1927, the jury ended up deadlocked on the bootlegging charges. It wasn't just Costello on trial, though, but also Hell's Kitchen's boss, Dwyer. In 1926, Dwyer was convicted of bribing a Coast Guard official and was sentenced to 2 years in jail. During Dwyer's imprisonment, Costello took over his position and became partner with Madden. This did cause issues with Dwyer's lieutenant, Charles Vannie Higgins, who believed that he should have taken the partner spot. This led to the Manhattan Beer Wars, in which the alliance between Costello and Madden was destroyed. In the late 1920s, Johnny Torrio organized a cartel of the East Coast bootleggers called the Big Seven. Costello and Luciano were members, of course. Torrio also supported a national body to prevent turf wars between gangs in Chicago and New York. The idea was actually well received, and a conference was hosted in Atlantic City, and the National Crime Syndicate was created. In 1931, Luciano became head of the new Luciano crime family, with Costello as consigliere, which is an advisor with additional responsibilities. Now, Costello became one of the biggest earners and began carving his own niche in the underworld. He controlled slot machines and bookmaking operations for the family. Costello placed about 25,000 slot machines in bars, cafes, restaurants, gas stations, drugstores, and bus stops throughout New York. In 1934, though, Mayor Fiorello LaGuardia confiscated thousands of the slot machines and had them dumped into a river. This prompted Costello to take Louisiana Governor Huey Long's proposal to put slot machines in Louisiana for 10% of the take. In 1936, Luciano was convicted of running a prostitution ring and sentenced to 30 to 50 years. He initially tried to continue running the crime family with Costello's help, but gave up. Genovese then became acting head. However, in 1937, Genovese fled to Italy to avoid prosecution for a murder committed in 1934. Luciano appointed Costello as acting boss and Willie Moret as the underboss. In 1945, Genovese returned to the US. The murder charges were dropped when 2 witnesses were killed. Genovese tried to take back his title as boss, but Luciano declined. Now, from May 1950 to May 1951, the Senate conducted an investigation into organized crime. This was known as the Kefauver hearings. Costello tried to minimize the effect the hearings had on his reputation. To do this, when he was called as witness, he refused to have his face filmed. This did not have the outcome he hoped for. The media obliged the request and instead focused on his hands, which just highlighted how fidgety he was, and that paired with his evasive questions. The first day, he verbally sparred with the lawyers, and then the second day, he walked out of the hearing claiming a sore throat. Costello was eventually convicted of contempt of the Senate and sentenced to 18 months in prison. The hearings also led to the murder of Moretti on orders of the Mafia Commission. The commission acted because they were worried about Moretti's behavior, believing that his advancing syphilis was affecting his brain and may cause him to spill something to the press. As a result of the death, Costello appointed Genovese as his underboss. In 1952, the government began the process of stripping Costello's citizenship and indicted him for tax evasion totaling $73,417, which is about $870,113 today. He was sentenced to 5 years and fined $20,000, and then between 1952 and 1961, he was in and out of jail thanks to bail and appeals. In 1956, Joe Adonis was deported to Italy, and he had been a powerful ally for Costello, so this left him weakened. Genovese saw his opportunity and began to try to turn the other powerful ally, Anastasia of the Magnano crime family, against Costello. Genovese made his move on Costello in 1957, ordering Vincent Giante to murder Costello. And on May 2nd, 1957, Costello was shot and injured outside of his apartment. This event persuaded Costello to give up his position to Genovese and retire. During his retirement, Costello was still known as the Prime Minister of the Underworld, retaining his power and influence in New York's mafia, and actually remained busy throughout his final years. He was still an advisor to Cosa Nostra bosses like Lucchese. Meyer Lansky had also kept in touch. Costello took up gardening, though, and displayed some of his flowers at local horticultural shows. On February 20th, 1961, the Supreme Court upheld the order that stripped Costello of his citizenship, and on February 17th, 1964, the court set aside his deportation, citing a legal technicality. In February of 1973, Costello suffered a heart attack and was rushed to hospital, but he passed away on February 18th. And that is all that I have for you today. A little bit shorter. It definitely could have been a lot longer, but I wanted to, for this series, focus specifically on Frank Costello, and not his involvement in organized crime or the mafia or anything like that. So just some of his crimes, because he's the Aquarius, nobody else in the gang. But I think I'm definitely going to do a series about the whole crime family thing and organized crime and the National Crime Syndicate, because it's a lot, but it's really interesting how organized crime just becomes a thing. But yeah, so I did say that I was going to post videos last week. 3 videos that I missed, and then I didn't finish. I still have not finished editing the Wife Between Us, that video. After this one gets posted, I'm gonna finish editing. It's just a lot to edit, but that's supposed to come up on Saturday. Fingers crossed. It's in my planner to do it on Saturday, so fingers crossed. I also missed 3 videos this week for Sunday, Monday, and today, which I probably would have skipped today anyway, just because of this video. But next week I will be back to, normal schedule. I'm gonna be talking about mermaids and sirens for legends and lore. I will be talking about the domestication of cats on Monday, and then I will be talking about the Alfred plea on Tuesday. I am also working on the second script for the series that I haven't even put out one video for. But yeah, that's a thing. I also painted my room. I'm super happy with how this turned out. It's a lot bluer than I had originally wanted. I originally went for gray because gray is my favorite color and I just wanted something dark. Kind of fell in love with this color. Honestly, just love it. So this is the whole setup now. I also redid all of my maps. I have some, that's Andy. I have some stuff on the wall over here. But today, I got this, and it's painted. I need to get a new frame for it, but it's painted. It's a scene from a temple that I'm blanking on, this Abu something. I'll put it on the screen, but it's painted on papyrus, which is super, super cool. And it just depicts, this is totally off topic. It depicts, that's Hathor, the god Hathor, that's Ramses II, and that's Nefertari, his wife. But yeah, now I need to find a place for this because like I just did all my wall art, whatever. So yeah. But I bring that up to say that I'm gonna start posting YouTube shorts. I think the first YouTube short that I'm gonna post is actually a blooper from one of my Tea Time and True Crime episodes. So I'm gonna get that edited. I'm gonna post that for my first YouTube short. But I'm also going to go into kind of like my wall because obviously there's more to the wall than just what y'all see, so I'm just gonna explain like what's above that y'all can't see, and then a different video for all of these maps, which are super cool. And yeah, just kind of give you guys a little bit of a peek behind the scenes. But anyway, I feel like I've talked more about me and everything after the video than the video itself, so yeah, I hope to see you guys on Saturday where my wall will be white again, but I will try to get that video out, and I'll get this video out. Oh, and I also forgot to say, I was doing this for all my family's birthdays because that's messed up. Today is my cousin's birthday, so happy birthday to my cousin, who I doubt will ever see this video, thank God. But yeah, for everybody else, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I hope to see you this weekend. Bye!